What if I told you that the man who's battled the greatest, been called the GOAT himself, and rewritten NBA history, also has his own secret list of favorite players, the very men he admired, and in some cases, the ones he even wanted to be like?
But I did everything Mike did, man. I wanted to be Mike.
LeBron's list is shaped by idols, rivals, and even one shocking name nobody saw coming. From Black Jesus himself to a former enemy who became a best friend. These are the 7 favorite players of LeBron James. And just when you think you know about the final name, the truth takes a turn you won't believe. Let's start with number 1. Michael Jordan. For LeBron James, basketball didn't begin with sneakers on a polished hardwood court or with trophies gleaming on a shelf. It began with a man on a television screen, a figure so dominant, so magnetic that he seemed larger than life. That man was Michael Jordan. LeBron has never hidden the impact Jordan had on him. On Uninterrupted's After Party podcast, he recalled the very first time he saw Jordan in person. He was just a sophomore in high school, traveling to Chicago with his lifelong friend Maverick Carter. They walked into a gym, and there, casually sitting on a bench press, was Michael Jordan. For young LeBron, it felt like walking into a church and finding the figure you'd worshipped your whole life, waiting on the altar. He admitted that in that moment, he thought he was meeting a god. Jordan looked to him like Black Jesus himself. That's how powerful the image was.
He was Black Jesus to me. No one could tell me anything different.
LeBron was so overwhelmed that he said if his life had ended that very day, he would have gone out fulfilled. That's not the kind of reverence you hear from one NBA superstar about another. That's a confession of just how much Jordan defined his childhood, and this connection stretched even further back. When Jordan announced his retirement in 1993, LeBron was just 9 years old, a kid in Akron, Ohio, still dreaming of what life might become. Yet he was crushed. Years later, while watching The Last Dance, LeBron tweeted about that day, writing that he definitely cried when Jordan walked away. Think about that before LeBron even imagined himself in the NBA. The highs and lows of Jordan's career were shaping his emotions, his mindset, and ultimately, his destiny. Jordan wasn't just a player he admired. He was the reason LeBron wore number 23 in high school and early in his NBA career.
Me, for sure. I mean, like I said, I wear 23.
He was the measuring stick, the North Star, the ultimate model of greatness. On Mind the Game, LeBron summed it up simply, "When you talk about inspiration, there was nobody more inspiring to me than Michael Jordan." And in a twist that shows just how much respect flowed both ways, Jordan returned the admiration. In 2020, during an ESPN interview, he called LeBron one of the best players in the world, if not the best, and said he's a fan who loves watching him play.
He's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world.
So while the basketball world endlessly debates who the true GOAT is, Jordan or LeBron, the answer for LeBron himself has always been clear. Jordan is the foundation. Jordan is the idol. Jordan is the original blueprint for everything LeBron became. But if that shook you, wait until you hear about the player LeBron didn't just admire, the one he called his big brother. Next is number 2, Kobe Bryant. Long before the NBA Finals matchups, before the endless debates about Kobe versus LeBron dominated sports talk shows, there was a summer basketball camp, the ABCD camp. For young LeBron James, it was a chance to see future stars up close. But one visit stood out above all others. That's when Kobe Bryant walked into the gym, still young himself but already a rising NBA legend, and spoke to a group of hungry kids. Among them was LeBron.
He came and talked to all the kids that was there, and I happened to be one of the kids that was there.
Kobe's message was simple, almost blunt. If you want to be one of the greats, there is no substitution for work, no shortcuts, no excuses, just the grind.
And he said he was like, if I want to be one of the greats, you got to put the work in.
That line wasn't just advice. It became a mantra for LeBron, etched into his mind as if tattooed on his basketball soul, and it set the tone for how he approached the game with relentless commitment and the belief that greatness had to be earned every single day. Then came a moment that still feels almost too surreal. As a teenager in Philadelphia, LeBron encountered Kobe again, this time in a hotel lobby. Kobe handed him a pair of sneakers, but there was a problem. Kobe wore a size 14, and LeBron was already a size 15. Most kids would have tossed them on a shelf as memorabilia, but LeBron wasn't most kids. He laced them up and wore them in his very next game.
He gave me the shoes, I rocked them in the game.
Think about that. The man who would one day become the NBA's all-time leading scorer was willing to squeeze into the wrong size shoes just to feel closer to his idol. As the years rolled on, admiration slowly turned into competition. LeBron watched Kobe stumble in his early playoff battles, like those infamous airballs against Utah, and then transform into the assassin the world came to know, a player with zero flaws offensively, fueled by a merciless drive to improve. Their paths finally converged in 2008 on the legendary Redeem Team. For LeBron, it was a dream realized. Not just to study Kobe from afar, but to train, practice, and fight for gold alongside him. But fate had one more twist. In January 2020, LeBron passed Kobe on the NBA's all-time scoring list. Kobe's final public words, his last tweet, were congratulating LeBron for carrying the game forward. The very next day, Kobe was gone. LeBron, shaken and emotional, stood in front of a grieving Staples Center crowd and promised to continue Kobe's legacy. In that moment, it became clear. Kobe wasn't just a rival, and he wasn't just another Laker. To LeBron, Kobe was proof that obsession, heart, and sacrifice could rewrite destiny. From shoes too small to dreams too big, that bond makes Kobe's place on this list undeniable. At number 3, we have Dwyane Wade. If you've ever seen that iconic photo, LeBron James soaring through the air for a dunk while Dwyane Wade spreads his arms wide in celebration before the ball even dropped, then you already understand something important. This bond was never just about basketball. It was about brotherhood. LeBron and Wade were tied together from the very beginning. Both entered the NBA in 2003. LeBron is the #1 overall pick, Wade at number 5. Even as rookies on different teams, they recognized something in each other: the same hunger, the same edge, the same determination to leave their mark on the game. They first teamed up as part of the 2008 Redeem Team in Beijing, representing Team USA. That squad, which also included Kobe Bryant and Carmelo Anthony, reclaimed Olympic gold and reasserted American dominance. For LeBron, getting a front-row seat to Wade's relentless drive only deepened the respect he already had for him. But the world wouldn't truly see what their bond could produce until 2010, when they shocked the basketball universe and joined forces in Miami. Along with Chris Bosh, they formed the Heatles, a super team that instantly became the biggest story in sports. From 2011 to 2014, the Big Three carried the Heat to 4 straight NBA Finals, capturing back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013. Those years weren't just about titles. They were about chemistry, sacrifice, and learning how to share the spotlight. And Wade was the one who welcomed LeBron into his city and his team. Wade never treated LeBron as an outsider. He treated him like family. That's why the connection still lives on today. Even years after they last shared a court together, LeBron still shows love publicly. When Wade posted a highlight reel of his career on Instagram, LeBron jumped into the comments with 2 powerful words: "Too tough." That wasn't just friendly banter, it was recognition of a brother's greatness. And when Wade was finally enshrined in the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2023, LeBron wasn't just in the audience as a fellow player. He was there as family, celebrating a man who had been his partner in crime through one of the most iconic eras of his career. For LeBron, Wade wasn't simply a teammate or even a favorite player. He was proof of what happens when 2 stars trust each other enough to chase history side by side. And that's what makes Dwyane Wade's place on this list unshakable. Coming in at number 4 is Chris Paul. Chris Paul, the point god. For most fans, CP3's legacy is built on surgical precision, unmatched basketball IQ, and leadership that could turn any team into a contender. But for LeBron James, Chris Paul is much more than an opponent or a peer, he's family. Their bond stretches back long before the NBA spotlight. The two first connected as teenagers at high school basketball camps, where LeBron instantly recognized Paul's sharp mind for the game. That friendship only deepened over time, eventually becoming part of the famous Banana Boat crew alongside Dwyane Wade and Carmelo Anthony. What started as camp friendships grew into a lifelong brotherhood that became a piece of NBA folklore, symbolizing loyalty in a league often dominated by business. Even now, both men in their 40s and still defying father time, LeBron never misses a chance to publicly celebrate CP3. When Paul made his emotional return to the Clippers in 2025, LeBron reposted a photo of him in uniform, writing, "This is dope." Happiness written all over his face. Congrats, Chris Paul. That kind of joy wasn't about basketball. It was about seeing a brother in his element again. LeBron has also praised Paul's leadership countless times.
CP3, but he is building that team. He's got some really, really good things going on.
On his podcast, he recalled how Paul's arrival in Phoenix instantly changed the Suns' fortunes, saying CP3 had completely reshaped the culture and made them a threat in the West. To LeBron, this wasn't just recognition of another star's impact, it was respect from one basketball savant to another, a peer-to-peer acknowledgement of genius. And the bond goes deeper than stats or seasons. Both men have been through the wars, the pressure of carrying franchises, the heartbreaks of finals losses, the grind of 2-decade careers. They're two of the last legends standing from their generation, proving you can still dominate with brains and heart when your body starts to slow down. When LeBron calls Chris Paul one of the greatest point guards of all time, it's not casual praise. It's the culmination of 2 lifetimes of shared respect, loyalty, and brotherhood. And that's why CP3's place in LeBron's list of favorites feels as personal as it does historic. At number 5, it's Carmelo Anthony. Before the NBA fame, before the millions of fans, before the bright lights and endless debates, there were 2 teenagers sitting on a hotel staircase in 2002. One was LeBron James, a high school sensation from Akron. The other was Carmelo Anthony, the star of powerhouse Oak Hill Academy. The night before their teams clashed in one of the most hyped high school games of all time, the 2 of them sat together for hours. And here's the twist: they didn't talk about basketball. They talked about family, about dreams, about the challenges of growing up with the weight of expectation. 2 young men on the edge of something bigger than either of them could fully imagine. That night, a bond was born that would outlast rivalries, wins, and even the NBA spotlight itself. As the years passed, that connection only grew stronger. They battled each other countless times in the league, yet always carried themselves as brothers. They stood side by side on Team USA, helping to restore America's dominance on the world stage. And when asked about their relationship, Melo explained that he and LeBron have been tied together and talked about side by side since they were teenagers, and that he sees LeBron as his brother.
That's my brother. We talk about being around, being together, being tied.
LeBron echoed the same sentiment, saying, "We got so much history, it's always special. That's my brother." And it wasn't just talk. When Carmelo's career nearly collapsed, when teams stopped calling and it looked like the league had moved on, LeBron stood up for him. He defended his talent and his fight, saying, "When people throwing stones on you, trying to bury you alive, and you able to rise above that, only the strong survive." Their story isn't just about basketball. It's about survival. It's about loyalty. It's about the kind of friendship that proves a favorite player isn't always the one who scores the most points. Sometimes it's the one who never lets you walk through the darkness alone. For number 6, we shift to Draymond Green. If you had told NBA fans back in 2016 that LeBron James would one day call Draymond Green one of his favorite players, nobody would have believed you. At that time, they weren't friends. They were bitter rivals at the center of one of the greatest final series ever played. That year, the Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors clashed in a battle for the ages. LeBron's Cavs took a 2-1 series lead, and it looked like they might finally overcome the Warriors' juggernaut. Then Golden State made a bold adjustment. They slid Draymond to center. That single move changed the series. Suddenly, the Warriors had a small ball weapon that tilted the finals in their favor, and they closed out the Cavs for a championship. LeBron has never forgotten that turning point. On his podcast, he admitted that no one has mastered versatility over the past decade like the Golden State Warriors, and the main reason was Draymond Green.
Golden State. And the main reason is because of Draymond Green.
For LeBron, that was the ultimate form of respect, recognizing genius even when it came from the other side of the battlefield. But here's where the story flips. Draymond himself admitted he once hated LeBron. There was no relationship, nothing but tension and trash talk. Yet by 2019, everything changed. Draymond signed with Clutch Sports, the agency run by LeBron's close friend, Rich Paul. Suddenly, the walls came down. The 2 began hanging out, partying at concerts, celebrating birthdays together. LeBron even attended Draymond's wedding. In just a few years, one of LeBron's fiercest enemies had become one of his closest allies. It's the ultimate twist: a rival turned business partner, an opponent turned brother. And it proves that for LeBron James, admiration isn't limited to idols or friends. Sometimes it grows out of conflict. And finally, at number 7, Magic Johnson. When people talk about LeBron James, the conversation almost always begins with scoring. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer, after all, a man whose name is etched in record books forever. But if you ask LeBron himself how he sees his game, he doesn't point to the shooters or the killers who came before him. He points to Magic Johnson. LeBron has said that he sees himself on the side of the Magic range. For him, greatness isn't just about racking up points. It's about loving your teammates, keeping them happy, and still dominating the game in every way possible. That mindset is straight out of the Magic Johnson playbook. Magic wasn't just a point guard. He was a 6'9" floor general who revolutionized the game by making everyone around him better, while still winning 5 championships and creating the Showtime Lakers dynasty. It's no coincidence then that when LeBron joined the Los Angeles Lakers in 2018, Magic Johnson was serving as team president. Magic openly embraced the move, calling LeBron one of the greatest ever, And praising him is special because he elevates his teammates while still performing at the highest level himself. For someone like Magic, who built an entire legacy on sharing the spotlight, that was more than a compliment, it was recognition of a kindred spirit. Magic has also said that players like LeBron only come around once every 20 years. Coming from the man who brought Showtime to Los Angeles, that wasn't casual praise. It was a passing of the torch, a symbolic moment where the leader of one Lakers era endorsed the face of another. For LeBron, Magic isn't just a favorite. He's a model, proof that greatness doesn't always come from being the most ruthless scorer or the coldest assassin. Sometimes it comes from being the one who lifts an entire team, who sets the stage for everyone else to shine. But as much as LeBron admired Magic and the legends before him, not every favorite on his list came from idolization or brotherhood. Sometimes they came from rivalry, and in one shocking twist, one of LeBron's fiercest opponents eventually became one of his closest friends. So what makes someone LeBron's favorite? Look closely and you'll see the pattern. It's not about stats alone. It's about inspiration, like Jordan, work ethic, like Kobe, chemistry, like Wade, leadership, like CP3, loyalty, like Melo, vision, like Magic, and even resilience through rivalry, like Draymond. Every name on this list tells you who LeBron is and why his story is bigger than basketball. But here's the question only you can answer. Who did LeBron leave out? Should names like Larry Bird, Allen Iverson, or even Shaq have made the cut? Drop your 7 in the comments and tell us which pick shocked you the most. Because if this list proves anything, it's that greatness isn't built alone. It's built on those you admire, those you battle, and those who push you to become more.